Before I get started, I would just like to clarify that this movie has nothing to do with the Sleeping Dogs video game that's on PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. Now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about this movie. What's up everyone, my name is Ryan and today on the channel I'm going to be discussing a crime mystery film called Sleeping Dogs. This film was directed by Adam Cooper and this is his directorial debut. The film stars Russell Crowe, Karen Gillian, Tommy Flanagan, Harry Greenwood, and Thomas M. Wright. Sleeping Dogs is based on a book called The Book of Mirrors, and it's about a retired homicide detective named Roy, played by Russell Crowe, in which he is battling Alzheimer's disease. But when he is forced to open up a case about a murder of a college professor, a mysterious woman comes to him and says, "Hey, I got new information on this," and the case opens back up again. So going into Sleeping Dogs, I knew absolutely nothing about this movie. The only reason I even knew that this movie exists is I opened up my AMC app and I was like, you know what? I still have another free movie that I can see this week. What am I going to check out? I saw that Russell Crowe was in this movie. I didn't even read a synopsis for this. I didn't look up a trailer for it. I don't know anybody that's reviewed this movie and I was like, you know what? I'll go ahead and check it out. Starting with the positives, I have two of them. First off, Russell Crowe. He's what really drew me into this film. I think even in the worst of films, he can help elevate the movie just a little bit. And I think here he's trying his best, even though the script doesn't really allow him to really do so. The second positive that I have is I do like the intro here. I like that we see that he's going through this disease and we get to see him actually go out and try to work the case a little bit. You see in his house that he has a lot of different things to remind him of certain things, like where the hot and cold water is, what his name is, what his profession is, and you see that throughout the house. So you can really tell that this disease is really affecting him. So I did like that opening and the strong opening of going into the case and finding out some of the facts early on. That really drew me into the film. With that strong opening though, it quickly dissolves rather quickly as it's very convoluted and it's a little bit too smart for its own good. It tends to really move at a snail's pace and the look of the film looks very washed out with no color whatsoever. It looks absolutely ugly to look at throughout the film and it feels very cheap at times the way it was shot. There's a lot of very bright moments that just look kind of off and look kind of TV movie-ish. The mystery is very dull. You have to hear different people actually narrating and telling the story. There's some parts where the dead person is actually narrating and telling you the story and even tells you that certain things he's going to tell you is actually pointless and you can't always trust the narrator. It goes into a relationship. It talks about books and literary terms and a lot of other things that feel like it doesn't really make the mystery feel that engaging, and they don't even really take any consideration of the black man that's actually on trial here and gonna get lethal injection. We get him in the beginning of the film and we get him towards the end of the film, but we really don't get any look into his life or really what led up too much with his events. They show a little bit of a flashback with him, but they don't really dive too much into his character. There's a lot of moments where it really feels like there's lacking emotional depth between any of the characters, and the dialogue, it really lacks a delicacy to really make you feel invested in the characters. And Karen Gillian, I think she is the worst here. I think she's given the worst dialogue to read here, and I think this is one of her worst performances. But I also don't really blame her fully because I think some of the stuff she has to read here, you never feel like it's really coming from the heart or really feeling like it really fits the story. It just feels very forced and a lot of the lines feel very absent. They just don't feel like they're really connecting together as characters, and even the emotional parts within the film that you're supposed to have between each character, it just feels very dull. You don't care about any of these characters. A lot of this movie really consists of flashbacks, and even with Roy's character, he has a lot of flashbacks as well with his friend, and it just doesn't feel that exciting. There's just nothing that's really evolving too much in the film, and you just feel like you're kind of going through the motions. And you can feel at certain points in this film where there is some predictability as well. They have a little bit of a twist ending, which I thought was absolutely stupid for the film and didn't really make any sense. Russell Crowe's character, it just felt very inauthentic, and what I mean is he has Alzheimer's disease, and I know someone that has Alzheimer's disease, and I can tell you, even though the symptoms, they may vary, I just felt like that didn't really affect him in this film. There are certain parts in this this film where he forgot a name, which obviously plays into that disease, but he could talk fine. He didn't have any struggles really getting words out. And he's also drinking at points in this film, and I was like, what the heck? What are they doing there in that scene? And there's just certain things in this film that just don't really line up to what he's actually going through. And I hate that when they put a disease in a film like this, they completely dumb it down and they just kind of use that on the back burner and don't really make it affect the character as a whole. And I just don't like that they actually did that in this film. So as far as the score for this film, I would give it a 1.5 out of 5. There were a few moments here and there, but overall it was a dull experience and there wasn't a lot to really grab onto with this film. And I feel like also why I'm giving it a 1.5 out of 5 too, just because I like Russell Crowe as a whole. But overall, this film is not worth your time. What did you guys think about Sleeping Dogs? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you just think it was kind of meh? And if you haven't checked it out yet, are you going to check it out in a theater? Are you going to stream it? Or are you going to skip it altogether? Leave any and all comments down below. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time.